Our speaker this morning is Giavanna Mancy. Gia is a two-year boarding student from Toledo, Ohio. She's an assistant captain of the girls' varsity ice hockey team and the proud roommate of Sam Sifra. Gia?
As we gather here today, I wanted to talk about our inner child, that part of us that is playful, curious, and full of wonder. It is the part of us that remembers what it is like to be carefree and innocent. Before the world filled us with cynicism and skepticism, and as I wrap up this high school chapter of my life, I am inspired to give you a long look back at my childhood and to take a deep dive into who I am and what has helped mold this person standing before you. From when I was a little girl, I can remember going through life with a perennial smile on my face and mischief on my mind. I wanted to be involved with everything and everyone all the time. Even as a young child, I always led my life with heart. As the youngest of four children, every time our house got eerily quiet, my family would instantly be on high alert, searching for me, knowing I was inevitably up to something. Frankly, I didn't understand what my expected behavior should be. I have two older sisters and a brother. My closest sister in age is 5 years older than me. In my eyes, that age gap came with many responsibilities, such as keeping everyone entertained with my shenanigans, or keeping my mom busy as she chased me around the house with a mop, or breaking all the good habits out of our dog, or climbing on top of every table, climbing up shelves, hanging from light fixtures, and finally, without a doubt, I had the personal goal of being the coolest and most fun sister that my siblings could brag about. I am pretty certain I was successful with almost all of those responsibilities. But now I'm less than 50 days from jumping into the Dell, and that question about myself still rings in my head as I close this chapter of my life. Who is Gia Mancy now, and what really helped mold her into the person that is standing before you? I don't have an exact answer, and I don't expect anyone to know who they truly are at this stage in our lives. But I hope the lessons I have to share from my childhood can help in that journey. Over the past month or so, I found myself reminiscing about the good old days when all my siblings lived under the same roof, and it was then that I really think I started to solidify into who I am. Whether we like it or not, people in our early stages of life help mold us into who we are today. For me, I like saying how much my family life did that for me. I have heard multiple times from others, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. While that is true, I also truly believe even more so, show me your parents, show me your siblings, and you'll really show me yourself. I am blessed to have had an immediate family be those great role models for me. As I grew and got older, my family gave me a strong level head. They enabled me to have good judgment and make good decisions. One memory that stands out to me is something we did every day. Each morning on our drive to school, we would say a few prayers together, and then my mom would say a single prayer out loud to us. Dear Lord, please help Gabrielle, Andrew, Grace, and Gia be kind and respectful to all of their teachers and friends. Allow them to use their gifts that God gave them and learn with open mind and open hearts. From kindergarten to 8th grade, that daily prayer was the foundation for our mindset as we began our days. My mom's faith is strong and everlasting, and not only did she speak those words, she showed me how to do them through her own actions. As we prayed, it was not just the act of praying to God, but also teaching us the morals to live by. Respect and kindness are two of the greatest things she made an effort to ingrain in all of us, and I remember these the most. I try to live each day showing others respect and kindness, and it comes back to me in sevenfolds. And I feel lucky to be able to live by these in the game of life. And I want us all to understand you can choose to live each day like that too. I believe the connections you make with people and the impacts you leave on them is something greater than any physical gift. My dad worked a lot while I was growing up. He's a third generation restaurateur. The original steakhouse flagship store was opened in 1921. When I was young, all I remember is visiting at work and for dinner, or otherwise I didn't see him very often. In 2010, he was diagnosed with kidney cancer when I was 7 years old, and that's when my whole world flipped, but even more for the better. In my family, we call it happy cancer because it was caught so early on, it wasn't a death sentence, but instead a wake-up call. My dad understood he needed to be around his family more. He started to attend all of his kids' sporting events and school activities. From that day on, he never worked another Sunday in his life. It was our official family day, and the whole family had to do things together, starting with our Sunday Mass. From that moment on, my dad became my best friend and biggest supporter. He never missed another hockey game, and as of late, if he couldn't travel to Hill hockey games, he was always watching online. His promise to himself to be present for his family was not easy because his workload never really got lighter. He worked hard being a small business owner and running a successful, busy restaurant. I watched as he worked harder than anyone else and never took anything for granted. I watched as he earned everything he got and taught me you must work harder than your peers and harder than you think is possible. He believed in me and showed me anything is possible if you put your mind to it. His message was to find your goal, reach it, and soar higher. If there is a crack in the road, build a bridge over it. You can find a way. And if you have a traumatic event happen, take a step back, acknowledge what is important, and prioritize that. Life is precious. You have the power to control your fate. You have the power to change your norm. You have the power to live the life you desire. You must take risks and react with a level head as each problem comes. Prepare, prepare, prepare. For luck is the residue of preparation. You make your own decisions for yourself. No one else has the power to tell you how to live, and no one else knows the desires in your heart besides you. My sister Gabrielle is a perfect example of hard work and preparation, and the perfect example of my dad's lessons. She graduated as a naval officer from Ohio State at the top of her ROTC class and moved to San Diego, California for the United States Navy. She rose to the top of her peer group faster than anyone. Through her 5-year commitment, she was on 2 different ships, went on multiple deployments, and got to see many different countries and experience their cultures. She decided to serve an additional 2 years and chose for a highly selective position that only 10% of the Navy can apply for, and she got it. She moved to Singapore with her husband and will return to the States in June of 2024. I share this with you now because I have learned from watching her hard work and determination. She showed me I can control my own destiny. I understand that people will come in and out of your life at certain times, but when they leave, they will leave you with many lessons to learn from. But I also understand you will have your family and yourself to lean on. When I was taught how to treat people by my mom, I was also taught how to treat others. The prayer my mom spoke to us during our daily drive to school was one of respect and kindness to ourselves as well. And I know it is easier to say than do, but we get so caught up in what others are doing and measure ourselves against them instead of being content with what is happening around us. Looking back at my childhood, I never focused on what others had and I didn't. I was too inquisitive as a child, caught up with why the sky is blue above me, why my brother is ginger and no one else in my family is, why the sun set a minute later every night, why the sun was so far away but I could still feel it on my skin. And I wondered and learned with an open mind and open heart. I was taught how to live my life, taught how to treat others and deal with bumps along the way. But now, as we become our own selves, trying to be the person we look to as our role models, I ask you to take a step back from right now for a few moments and ask yourself those why questions. Become a kid again, live in the moment. Treat others with respect and kindness. Cherish the moments you have with your loved ones. Bring out your inner child. Let them explore the whys. Allow them to feel safe. Allow yourself to love yourself unconditionally. Appreciate the time and energy you put into caring for others and yourself. Look in the mirror and see that you are still that same kid learning how to live in the world, and be okay with not knowing who you are yet, because your 5-year-old self never asked who I am. They lived to laugh, create messes, make mistakes, and learn from them. Thank you.